Zehu tzeno ureeno b'nois Sion b'melech Shlomo. It's going to explain now the idea. We started the Mamer tzeno ureeno, that they should go out. Where are they going out from? That was the question that he asked. And he's going to explain now that there is different levels of the neshamas in which they get the light of the Ein Sof through the different levushim. But when we talk about the level of the b'nai Sion, when they come to the level of Torah, they don't need those levushim, as we're going to see, as he's going to explain as we go on in the Maimon. So he says, "V'zehu tzeno re'eno b'nai Sion b'melech Shlomo." Go out, and you will see. Who's he talking to? He's talking to the b'nai Sion, the daughters of Zion. The daughter of Sion, that's talking about the neshamas. The neshamas are called b'nai Sion. The neshamas should go out from their garments and they'll see the Melech Shlomo. They will see the King Shlomo. What does it mean they'll see the King Shlomo? Melech Shlomo means how the level of Malchus, the Melech, comes from the level of Shlomo, that it goes down, the Sholem, to bring down the level of above, to make peace and bring it down into the Hay, Sholem Hay. Let's see what he writes. The Alter Rebbe explained it. Kihine Inyan Melech Shlomo. What is the Melech Shlomo? So we're talking about the King Shlomo. This is a metaphor. This is talking about the Melech Shasholim Shaloi. We're talking about the king who peace is his. Peace is his, meaning there is a connection. The peace is his, meaning he makes peace that to come down from the higher world into this world. It's a melech who peace is to him. Ukesiv, and it says shloimoi behei. It should seemingly say shloimoi with a vav, his shalom, but here it says shloimoi written with a hey, because it comes down into the level of hay. Varaina. The idea is in order for it to be drawn down from the Ein Sof, going to have a realization, a vision of the Ein Sof. So in order to bring down the Ein Sof, as we call him, when we say Ein Sof, it means there's no end. He has no limit. There's no end to it. So when we bring down from the level of the Ein Sof, to vitalize the world and creations which are limited, baligvul. So from Ein Sof to Gvul, hine hamshocha zu hi min hahepuch el hahepuch legamri. So this hamshocha is from the opposite to the other opposite totally. From Ein Sof to Gvul. That's the hamshocha from the Ein Sof when it comes down into the world. So how does it come down from Ein Sof to Gvul? V'hamechaber v'hamshocha. What connects that hamshocha? V'ha'oisa sholem l'chaber shnei hapochim. And who makes the peace to connect these two opposites, the Ein Sof with the Gvul? Hu inyan melech. That's the idea of Melech. That's the idea of Malchus. Malchus is the connecting piece from the Ein Sof and the Gevul and Bia. It says everything. Ki Malchuscha, Malchus kol Elam. Because the Malchus is the level that is the Malchus of all the worlds. That's the king. The level of Malchus connects and becomes the Chayis, the Malchus of all Elam. Like we say it in the davening, say Yochid Chei Ha'olamim Melech. Yochid. Hashem is Yochid, that's the Ein Sof. Chei Ha'olamim, how does it vitalize the world from the level of Yochid? It's through Melech, through the level of Malchus. To say, Shehu Levade Yizborech Yochid U'Meyuchad. He, Hashem, blessed, alone, he himself, is one and only. Yochid U'Meyuchad. He is one and only. Elo Shechei Ha'olamim. How does he vitalize the world? Urak B'chinas Melech. That's only from the level of Melech, which is Machshavtei HaKaduma, Hashem's earliest thought of Ano Emlech. I want to be king. That is what vitalizes the world. So Bezehu, so this is what we say, Melech Shloime Shasholim Shaloi. Bezehu Melech Shasholim Shaloi. This is what Melech is, that is Shalom is his. Uksiv Shloime Behei. It doesn't say Shloimoi, but it says with a hey, which means Shasholim Nimshach Ad Bechinas Keitato, that the Shalom comes to the hey, to the lower hay, from the shame of Yud Kei Vav Kei. The lower hay is the Sfiras HaMalchus. Hi HaMechaye Es HaNivroim. That is what vitalizes the created being. Umehave Oisom Me'ayin Liyesh, and brings them into being from ex nihilo into existence, from Ayin, from unto Yesh. Umeitzia Mehelem El HaGilui. It brings them out from the hidden to the revelation and from potential into action. So that is Melech Shloimo, to go ahead and see the Ein Sof, a Melech Shloimo that comes down up till the level of Hay. Who is this? We're saying Benois Sion. V'hinei hanishamis shebegan Eden, the nishamis of Gan Eden, yesh mehen shenikru Benois Yerushalayim. There are those of them which are called Benois Yerushalayim. V'yesh mehen shenikru Benois Sion, and there are some that are called Benois Sion. In other words, these are all nishamis, but sometimes they are called the Neshamis of Yerushalayim, and sometimes they're called daughters of Yerushalayim. Sometimes they're called daughters of Tzyon. Tzyon is another name for Yerushalayim. Kimitzion Teitzi Soidot Varashem Yerushalayim. So it's another name, but it's basically talking about Yerushalayim. Sometimes they're called Benois Yerushalayim, and sometimes they're called Benois Tzyon. He's going to explain, before the Neshamis come down in a body, then they're called Benois Yerushalayim. But after they've already been in this world, then they're called Benois Sion. And when they are Benois Sion, and they get at that point from the level of Atorah Sha'otra Loi Imoi, so as when they get to that level, so then I think I skipped a line here, no?
Yes, you did.
Umihu hagoyim, right? Shalom zev is chabruzu. I know Torah shotra leimay. Who causes this connection? That is the Torah shotra leimay. The bisaruso dilatato Talia Milsa. We said before, Imoy, the mother, that we are the mother because Koro Imoy, because we're Mamshich. So we're Mamshich through the level of Atorah, the Bisaruso Dilatato Talia Milsa, because through the arousal of below, this thing hinges on. We bring down the Melech Shloimoy through Batorah Sha'otra Loi Imoy. But in this pasuk, it says specifically the neshamas of Gan Eden that are called Benois Yerusha, Benois Sion. So he starts to explain it. We have the two levels, the levels of Benois Yerushalayim and the level of Benois Sion. He explains. Benois Yerushalayim, the daughters of Hein HaNeshamas, Sha'adayin Loi Nislapshu Begufas Bnei Odom. Those are the souls that have not yet been dressed up in the bodies of humans. They are called Yerushalayim, Benois Yerushalayim. They are daughters. They receive Yerushalayim. What is Yerushalayim? Shemekablis Yira Sholim. They receive a whole level of Yira, the Yira in the fullest, Yerushalayim, heavenly. The Hainu Shleimus HaYira Shebechinas Ein Sof, which is the whole Yira, complete Yira, which is Shebechinas Ein Sof, which is in a level of Ein Sof. Neshamas can get Yerushalayim, they are Benois Yerushalayim, as opposed to Malachim. It's only Neshamas. Mashe'ein HaMalachim Elyonim Yecholim Lekabel. The supreme Malachim cannot receive only what extends to them in a measure. Everybody according, each one in Al-Malach according to the level, that's what they can get. Malachim can't get more than that. As opposed to getting more than their measure. Amr Razal, or sages of blessed memory, say that Hoishit HaKodesh Baruch Hu Etzboya HaKatano Beineihem V'Sofam. The Eibishter put out his small finger amongst them, they burned, which means there was an extra gilui, more than the usual, and they expired. Shenis Batlu B'Metzius. They have been nullified from their existence. Why did that happen? Lifi she hoishit etzbo haketano yeser michdei midosom haroyulhem, because he stretched out his small finger, which means he gave the finger more than their measure that is fit for them, and they were expired. Why? Why do they can only take so much exactly what they're given to and not more? Is because lefi shehem nislapshu b'bechinas gufos miyisoda eish v'yisoda ruach, because they are dressed up in bodies that come from the element of fire and the element of ruach. And like we say, oise malachov ruchos mishorsov eish loyed. His angels are made up from ruchay, that's ruach, and his servant are eish loyed. And because their body is made up of these two measures, that's the body of the angels, and therefore they can only get the hamshocha according to what has been measured exactly for them. But if there is more, they surf them, they become nisbat. Avol haneshamis shadayin lo nislapshu begufos. But the souls who have not yet been dressed up in the body, we're talking the Benois Sion, the Neshamis, before the Benois Yerushalayim, before their Benois Yerushalayim, Yechoilos lekabel oir ein sof baruch hu k'mois shehu b'chinas ein sof. They can get the Eir ein sof as is, as it's ein sof. U'k'mois Kosuva, the pasuk says, Chai Havaya, Asher Omadet Telefono. He says, Chai Hashem, swears by Hashem that I stood before him. They stood before him, meaning before the Ein Sof. Because they are included and united in their Maitzil, blessed be Mamish, and therefore they can get from the Ein Sof. They are Benois Yerushalayim. That is the level of Benois Yerushalayim. Benois Tziyun. What is Benois Tziyun? Nikro HaNeshames Shabegan Eden. That is the Neshames in Gan Eden Shabo Me'olam Hazeh. They come from this world. They were already dressed up in a goof, in the body. They came from this world. And these Neshames that come from Olam Hazeh, those are called the Bnei Tziyun. Why? What's the name of Tziyun? Tziyun Meloshin Talmidei Chachomim Shebebavel Mitzuyonim. Tziyun comes from the language, the sages or the Talmidei Chachomim in Bavel, who are example, who are special. Mitzuyonim, they are assigned. They are Mitzuyon. They have a recognizable. They have something distinct by them. They have the marking because a Talmud Chochem gains all the garments from the Limud HaTorah, Pirush. How are they distinguished? How are they Mitzuyon? Melevushim shenasu lahem, from the garments that have been made to them. They are distinguished because they have special garments that were made for them. Those are bechinas levushim me'esek haTorah v'amitzvos. Those are the special garments that come from the occupation Torah mitzvahs. So when they are in Gan Eden, they are mitzuyin, they are distinguished. As we say, Ashrei mi shebo lekan v'talmudei b'yodei. Lucky is the one who comes here and with his study in his hand, so then he has those garments if he has learned Torah. Why is he lucky? So that he should be able to enjoy the Shekhinah. He's lucky because he has the garments that are necessary for the Neshama to enjoy the Shekhinah. So if he learned Torah, he got those garments, and then he can see. Then he's able to experience and enjoy the Shekhinah. It says, "Kemoishi efsher liistakel b'or godel b'li keli." Just like it is impossible to gaze at a great light. You don't have a vessel blocking it. You don't have sunglasses. You don't have something which blocks it. You can't look at that light. So you can't get the Ein Sof if you don't have the levushim. You need Atzim Balakan through Talmudei, through the Eisek HaTorah v'Amitzvos. V'lochein, and that's why, because it's such a powerful light, Kol HaNevim, all the prophets, Afilu Moshe Rabbeinu, all of Hasholem, Ro Ba'aspaklario. They still needed a aspaklari. They needed a glass. They needed something in between. They didn't just see directly. They needed the aspaklaria. Elo, sheMoshe Rabbeinu all of Hasholem ro ba'aspaklaria achas hami. You know, he can see through one. He used one sort of magnifying glass. And the other prophets, they needed 7 magnifying glass. So, but even Moshe Rabbeinu needed a keli, because you can't get the toif without having a keli. But what happens through the neshama by being in this world? You get the Torah that his mother has crowned with. Hein Torah v'hamitzvos atzmon. The Torah are actually the Torah and the mitzvahs themselves that the person has done, the study in Torah and mitzvahs. Those are not the levushim. They're not the garments to allow for the person to see, but rather they are the crown, which is the Torah mitzvahs themselves, like the crown which is above the head. That's not the person, but it's higher. Shein the Milo mibchinas chokhmah. That is higher than the level of chokhmah. As we said, Shem midbar matona. We had the level of from midbar is the gift. The Torah comes from the level of midbar. So we said before that is bchinas midbar. That is the level of midbar. Asher lo yoshav odom sham. A person does not sit there, meaning it's much higher than the level of odom. So that's the Torah mitzvahs themselves. And that has not been given to the people to grasp and understand at all. So when you're not looking to the level of Gan Eden, which is Ein Sof, that comes down in your Hanoah, which comes down through the Levushim, but you're looking to the higher level, to the Torah mitzvahs themselves, the Torah. In Alzen Nemar, about this it says, Tse'eno ure'eno, that the Bnei Sion should go out and they should see. Kloimar. What is this to say? Tse'eno min halavushim. Go out from the garments. You go out those garments that you used in order to be able to nena meziva shchina in Gan Eden. Go out from those garments. Ke'ein tzorich lilevush. You don't need a garment. She'ein halevush elo kidei liyes koyach lekabel ha'hasoge ha'gedoylo ha'niflo. The whole reason why you need the garment is that gives you the power to receive this great, wondrous understanding. Avo ba'atorah, when we're talking about Torah mitzvahs higher than that, the level of Torah, ein koyach ha'soga magas l'sham. Over there, it's not the power of understanding. It is much higher than the power of seeing, and the chokhmah, the Alter Rebbe brought down further, and therefore there's no levushim necessary because there's no limitation, and you get it in a way of seeing it without tsen or eno, without the levushim. Ubezoyar niskar me'inyan tsen or eno beparshas truma. Kufla Medalad or Medalef, Uberabis, save Parshas Pekute, Parshas Achre, save Parsha Chof, and in Bamidbar, save Parsha Yud Beis, Perik Yud Beis, Taf Reish Memches Gimel, Ubeshir Hashirim Rabba, Al Posik, Sena Oreeno. Okay, so let's